Okay, everybody, this is going to be a live, just 15 to 20 minutes. For sure, I will be more than happy to answer if questions. If you had some questions, I would be more than happy to answer them. And at the same time, to share with you important things that I have seen in the last years related to pet friendly retirement, which is so important to me, a topic that is deep in my heart, that is deep in my knowledge and deep in my experience. As a single mom coming here to Canada 4 years ago, and facing a new reality, because it is never easy to retire or think about retirement, and facing the fact that we are not ready to do that, and that we really have to start back from zero, and also facing the reality that you suddenly from 1 minute to the next you could be how do you call it, when your kids are gone, right, to the university. So, oh my god, well, the word just slipped out of my lips. But so this is the topic for today, because retiring is already a challenge for anyone. And if we talk about a single person, a single woman who had to start all over from almost zero again after 50, and trying to step back on her feet, and trying to send her kids to college and finish their pathway, and on top having a pet. If you have seen me on my social media, you have seen that I am a person who is deeply in love with her pets. I really love my pets. I really love my animals. And they're too important to me. My animals are part of my family. They are part of my experience, they're part of my everything. So today I want to share with you something. Are you aware how much a pet or for a cat costs here in Canada? It is around $25,000 from the day you acquire the pet until the day they die. And it's not including the amount of money you could spend if the pet gets some sickness, because it's very challenging to think about if your pet, what happens if your pet suddenly has to face I don't know, a disease like diabetes, or a disease like a broken leg, or things like this. It is really almost unaffordable to pay for that if you do not have the ready, if you do not have the insurance. So a lot of people have to surrender their animals. So how are you thinking to retire by yourself if you're not ready to retire by yourself? If you're not ready for that step, and if you still have to worry about your kids' college and your kids' tuitions and whatever. So, and on top of that, thinking about your pet is just almost unaffordable. And how do you know how much it costs to have or to pay for your dog's life? It's around $34,000. So just imagine that you're in your 50s and you decide to acquire a dog, and it's a puppy dog, and you're 50. So the dog's life expectations could be between 9 to 15 years of age. And so, in those 15 years, let's say 10 years, and you say that you want to have that pet and it costs without extra expenses. Thinking about a very healthy dog, okay? Just vaccinations and food and walking the dog, and sometimes dog walking expenses, like little expenses. It costs around $34,000. Let's say that the dog is 10 years, gets up to 10 years of age. That means that you need $3,400, $3,400 for his retirement, to be able to say, okay, I can retire my pet, or for his whole life. So do you have that money on top of the budget that you need for yourself to support your own expenses? Because if it is the case, congratulations. If you did not make the calculation before you wanted to acquire that dog, think it twice. Because if you want to acquire a pet because you love the animals, you want to give those animals the best life you could. So if we think about an animal that you want to have and you cannot walk, because eventually we can have some sicknesses, because when the older we get, the sicker we can get, right? We may not be able to walk a big dog, for example. If we have a boxer like the dog that I have, if we have a dog that requires a lot of walking, we may also have to include in our budget, in our monthly budget, dog walking, expenses. So just imagine that you pay for someone to walk the dog 45 minutes every second day or 3 times a week. That's already around another $100 the month. That's $400 on top of your budget. Do you really have that money? So first, let's ground this topic, and it is: are you able to really retire yourself and on top your dog? Okay, let me tell you something. If you want to know a little bit more about what I'm doing, I am already doing in preparing for my retirement. You just go into the comments. You just want a free blueprint that I have. You can go there and you can grab it for free. So let me inform you. I am a veterinarian. I am also an animal nutritionist. As both, I'm a specialist in animals, and I have been working in the pet industry, in the pet food industry, in the last year here in Canada. And I worked many years in Mexico, where I come from, for many, many, many years in the animal food, animal nutrition industry, and it has always been my topic of interest to know exactly how much it costs to have an animal. And I'm not talking only about dogs or cats. I'm also talking about any other animal, like a horse, like a bunny. Like, it's not for free. And if you want to have that pet, it also requires to pay an extra amount of money if you are renting a place. If I want to, for example, the place I'm renting here, I mean, it's a very, very nice place, and you can see here in the back. And here we have a nice view. We are in a 20th floor. It's a very nice place, but I had to pay almost the double just for the pet deposit. So do you have that budget? You want to acquire a dog. Are you really committed to have the dog for his entire life? Because it requires a lot of money. Okay. So I want to ask you, our pets are part of our family. They give us structure, purpose, love, and even health benefits. I have here like a script, but caring for them during retirement takes planning emotionally and financially. So emotionally, what happens, for example, if you have a pet and it gets really, really sick? The older we get, also we have to work a lot on our mindset, our mental health. So imagine that you have a really sick pet. I have friends that are in their, I don't know, 50s, 60s, and their mental health is declining, gradually declining. And I have seen people who have to surrender their animals just because they are not mentally okay, because they are facing, some mental issues. And is it really fair for that animal that you rescued him, or you bought him, or you wanted to breed him, and you cannot keep it? Because those animals really require a huge commitment. It's a life commitment. It's like having your own kid. Are you in the possibility able to commit and be there for your animal, or are you not? So as I just said, you can grab my blueprint to retire like financially free. So when kids leave home or we retire from our full-time jobs, the quiet can feel heavily. Our pets can help fill the gap with unconditional love and constant company, right? So they're very important to us. I have these two dogs. They're not here, but I have a boxer and I have a pug. And I remember the first time that after my divorce that my kids were not with me during summertime. And it was really, really difficult for me to face that reality. And I was really heartbroken. But then I look at my pets, and they were also missing the kids. They just bonded in a way with me that I could feel their love and their need to be next to me. And that's when I faced that reality. They are too important to me. But then I want to be ready, I really want to be ready to pay for their expenses. For example, my boxer, she's having some issues, health issues. You know how much just a consultation costs? Around $150. And if they have to do some blood tests, it can cost $400. And on top of some x-ray, another $800. And at the end of the day, I have to pay $2,000. Do you have that money? Because I am already ready, not for everything, but I am getting ready to be able to pay for those expenses. So I think that I can afford an animal here in Canada. But are we ready? And well, they give us a reason to get up. Oh, this is very nice. They give us a pet can give us a reason to wake up, to get up in the mornings, to walk, to play, to engage, which is great for our mental health and staying active. This is so true, right? I have also a couple of friends where they cannot walk properly because they have some health issues. But I can see when I see them with their dog, I can see that the dog is their purpose to wake up in the morning, to walk him, even if it is difficult for them to walk. They want to be there for their dogs, and their dog is always smiling and wagging his tail because he wants to be with their pet parent, his pet parents. So that's a purpose for our life. So are we available to purchase all that the pet needs, and also to pay, for example, for a walker, for a dog walker? Okay, so for your if community and connection in pet-friendly communities, you naturally meet with other pet animal lovers, instant friendships. Okay, a pet can also mean that you can engage with other communities, right? That you can also engage and have new friends. It can also mean that you can have a new community, of friends, of families, of I don't know. Let me put this here so that it's a little bit more light here. So with families, with friends, with new friends, just new friends. So if I think about how can we be able to be there for our pets and having the retirement money to be able to pay for their expenses. For example, if you want to travel with them, it costs a fortune. I have had the possibility to travel with my pets, and sometimes I have to pay an extra flight ticket. Are you able to do that? So, if you're in your 50s, you're like me, a woman who wants to retire. Okay, you're already preparing your retirement, which is having the money for your medical expenses, having the money to travel, having the money to visit your family, maybe your parents who are back home or with you, but you want to be there with them, having the money to pay for everything that you need to help your family, to help if you have some some projects in your mind to support people maybe or different causes. You want that money, but on top of that you have to have a really good planner, a good budget. And in that budget list you have to include your pets. If you really want to have them with you, you have to include your pets or you will not be able to have a pet. So my recommendation today is this: you have your planner, you already have your planner, if you already have your budget, add to it your pet, how much it would cost you to have that pet until the end of his life. And you can do also some research depending on where you live. How much does it cost to have a dog with diabetes? Like, for example, a bag of dog that is like good quality, Canadian made, 20 pounds, for example, costs between $90 to $150. But if I want to go to the vet and buy a very specific prescripted diet, that same bag could cost up to 180, even $200. So do you have to add that to your budget? On top, for example, that dog with diabetes could need insulin shots, which is you have to add around $400 to $1,000 a month. Okay, on top of the food, and on top of that, visit regular veterinarian visits. So just imagine that your pet could develop this kind of things, or have an accident, get bitten by an animal, like, I don't know, develop allergies. So there's so many circumstances why a pet needs a specific diet or visit the doctor regularly, like regular visit, vaccination. Add it to your budget, because if you don't do that, then most probably you will have to surrender your pet. That's real fact. I've seen so many elders who have had to surrender their animals, and that is heartbreaking, my friends. That's really, really tough, and you don't want to do that. So, for example, food, vet bills, grooming. Also, that was a very important point. If you have a pet that requires grooming, you choose a Labradoodle and a big one. Do you know how much it costs to keep him groomed? And if you're already in your 60s, 70s, I'm not so sure that you want to be dealing with a big Labradoodle and you want to groom him. Even it's trained. And if you want to have a trained dog, you have to pay for a good training program. Or if you want to do that, you have to train yourself as well to know how you can train your dog. So everything means paying money. Okay, so emergency planning, travel limitations, also, of course, either you fly with your pet or you can also, thank you so much. I don't know, New Zealand, how difficult is it to find a pet friendly retirement house in Canada? Oh, it's very difficult. If you want to have a pet friendly retirement house in Canada, first you have to demonstrate that you have the money to afford it. Second, you have to demonstrate that the pet is healthy. And third, depending on your age and the age of your dog or your cat, you need to have a budget and demonstrate that you have it, because those houses, retirement houses, don't want pets that are sick in their place. So you have to demonstrate that the pet is healthy. And on top, you have to pay everything twice because, like, I mean, for example, the pet deposit, because the dog can damage something. The dog can pee in a very unexpected spot. So you don't want that. Or a dog can like have a fight with another dog. Or a dog can escape and start scratching a door, break a glass door. Accidents happen. But with a dog, you know that you have to be prepared to deal with unexpected expenses, which means you have to pay for a pet deposit to be able to be there with your pet. Okay, so let's see. If you plan it intentionally, okay, this is my last part of my life. So start a financial plan that includes your pet. I had already told you that. Choose communities or homes that are pet positive or pet friendly. If you want to have a pet friendly retirement, that place has to be pet friendly. And it means a lot and it costs a lot. Build a care plan. So who would take your pet in case of emergency? Let's see, you're getting older and you pass away. Who will take care of that pet? I was working in a place where we received so many surrendered animals, and we didn't know about the previous owner. You know how sad those animals are? They're so, so sad because their owner passed away or couldn't take care of the animal anymore, and those animals are surrendered. Would you imagine a 10 years old cat being surrendered in a pet store and staying there for 4 months, 5 months, waiting for someone to take care of her? That's heartbreaking, right? I saw it. I witnessed it. I am not making it up. I witnessed it, and it was breaking my heart coming every day and seeing that cat so sad. That cat needed to be cuddled. That cat needed attention. Nobody could give it to her. So that was really sad. Start and so build a care plan who could take care. Okay, and the last one. This is the key point. Okay, this is the key point. Like the cherry on the on the cake. I don't know if you say it like that in English. If you want to retire, even if you're 50 or 60 or whatever your age is, and build a retirement plan where you really have the affordability, the financial balance to be able to be there with your animals, then build an online business. Why an online business? An online business doesn't require inventory. It doesn't require high overhead costs. It doesn't require you to be there all the time. You can take your phone and you can travel, or you can be with your pet in the outside, the outdoors, and you can be like posting, or you can sit in a cafeteria that is pet friendly, and at the same time you can be working on your phone. You can be with your pets, you can be at home with your pets. What happens if you have to go to work? You have to leave your dogs or your cats alone, or your bunnies, whatever animal you have. You live in a farm, your farm. That's something that we don't want. If you are really, really in love with pets like I am, I don't really want to leave my dogs behind. So it's like I have to put my boxer in a kennel for hours because I have to go to work. Honestly, I'm about to say like, not anymore. I want to be able to take her wherever. Have a car that is big enough to travel with her wherever I want. I chose a big dog. Next time when Aruma is not here with me anymore, I will choose a dog that is not as big as Aruma, a middle-sized dog. I will rescue some dog or maybe buy some dog. Most probably I will rescue a nice dog, a dog that is meant for me, a middle-sized dog. It also depends what car you have, or if you're still able to work and to drive. So I invite you, I'm closing right in a couple of seconds. I invite you to drop a me in the comments or whatever you want, like just right there, what you want to know about the business that I run, because I can do it from the comfort from wherever I am. Okay, for example, I'm about to leave and maybe I will go to have lunch with my kids on the beach or something. Maybe I take my dogs with me and I can sit there and work a little bit, or I can just enjoy and later, like, because it is in automation, a sale can come in, some questions, inquiries about the business, and it is working in the back while I am enjoying my life, while I am with my pets, while I am with my family, while I am traveling. So you want to retire sooner. Most probably, what you need is a side hustle, something that you can build from the comfort of wherever you are. Okay, so I hope to see you. I will be posting more on YouTube. I will be super active on YouTube, and I wish to see you here soon. So, pet friendly requirement for women over 50 who want to retire themselves and their pets. Here I am for you. Remember, I'm Monica Velardi. I am a veterinarian and I'm an animal nutritionist. I've worked in the pet industry for many years, in the animal industry for many years. I am also a single mom of 3 kids. I'm an immigrant in Canada, so it could not have been more challenging to me. And my pets have always been with me. They don't stay behind. Okay, I have done everything I can or could to have them with me. So I invite you, if you love your pets, to do the same. It's very doable. Just have to work hard on it. Take care. Thank you so much for watching, for engaging, and here we see you again.